a false sense of security that you can get lulled into living in the bubble, and I think for a lot of us that was taken away.
Coming up on News Live at 6, burglaries spiking across Syracuse University neighborhoods, students having their cars broken into, windows smashed. CitrusTV reporter Nicole Aponte has the latest on these crimes.
Plus, Chuck's Bar reopening on Marshall Street isn't as popular as it used to be a few decades ago. Our Zach Richter speaks to the owner.
And I'm here at the Italian Festival in downtown Syracuse. I'll be telling you what's on tap for this weekend.
Your campus news leader.
We're hearing devastating stories of Syracuse University students getting their houses and cars broken into. Good evening, I'm Chilekasi, Adele.
And I'm Ashley Wenskoski. Burglaries are becoming very common this semester as Syracuse police struggle to slow crime across the university neighborhood.
New at 6, investigations underway tonight and questions remain unanswered as police figure out how to slow crime across campus. Our Nicole Aponte is live on Euclid right now with tonight's story. Nicole.
Chile, DPS and the Syracuse Police Department, they've actually been distributing door hangers full of safety tips for residents here in the off-campus neighborhood. And they say they've increased their patrolling on these streets, even bringing in state police. But for one of the victims, she feels that her situation has been put on the back burner.
A false sense of security that you can get lulled into living in the bubble, and I think for a lot of us that was taken away.
A once safe haven for SU senior Kelly Johnson fractured. Her house in the off-campus neighborhood broken into this past month, stealing a multitude of valuables.
Sure enough, I got a call the next day saying, hey, we found your car, but it was totaled in a police chase.
Johnson has been picking up the pieces, but the fact it happened to her hasn't sunk in.
For the most part, it kind of feels like something that happens in a TV show. Like, you see things happen and you're like, you hear someone be like, oh, my car got stolen, but you never really think it's going to happen to you.
Kelly's story is not just unique to her own home. Over 40 burglaries have happened in the Euclid area this month alone. Citywide, there's been a 48% increase in burglaries since last September. According to Syracuse police, it's common for burglaries to happen this time of year.
So we'll see it when the students leave, because then they know all the apartments are vacant, so we get more burglaries that occur. And then when they come back, they know that they've brought more property.
The historic architecture on Euclid Avenue usually translates to older houses. DPS says that's how an unliked house like Kelly's can be at risk.
The windows are warped, and you can just jiggle the window and use a butter knife to get the lock to turn.
Kelly called SPD and DPS searching for the smallest sliver of help, but she says the delayed response has been frustrating.
The school is very much not taking it seriously. I mean, I don't even think they reported when we got robbed. So I know for a fact that, like, even though we get those emails about robbery updates, there are so many more.
Kelly and her roommates did everything correct that night. Locked doors, secure windows, lights turned off.
I'm still afraid to open my windows at night now because I'm like, well, someone could get in.
DPS Chief Craig Stone says that arrests have been made thanks to the fast response times of residents affected. And DPS urges you, if you do see something suspicious happening outside on your lawn, say something. We're live from Euclid Avenue tonight. Nicole Aponte, CitrusTV News. Guys.
Nicole Aponte, thank you so much. And with burglaries on the rise, DPS is taking action to keep the community safe this weekend. DPS is increasing patrols on university neighborhoods. Students should expect to see an increase of officers present throughout the weekend. SPD and New York State Police are also launching a joint effort to deploy state troopers in university-adjacent neighborhoods.
And new details tonight about a Georgia man who was arrested earlier this week for impersonating a Syracuse University graduate student. The man has been federally charged with 2 crimes. CitrusTV's Benjamin Schiller in studio with the latest details tonight. Ben.
Chilekasi, thank you. The U.S. Department of Justice announced on Tuesday that 37-year-old Gregory Williams Hill was arrested for trying to get information from the university by fraud. We are hearing that Hill is charged with 2 counts of misuse of a social security number and 2 counts of aggravated identity theft. Hill was arrested earlier this week and arraigned Tuesday by video conference. U.S. Magistrate Judge Miroslavic ordered Hill be detained until at least his trial is scheduled. The DOJ says Hill is being accused of impersonating a Syracuse University graduate student to obtain information from the school. They allege that Hill used the victim's name and social security number for trying to obtain information and documents from the university. If convicted, Hill could face a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison for the social security fraud counts, and Hill could face also a 2-year sentence for the aggravated theft counts if found guilty. A federal judge would be able to sentence Hill if he is convicted of the alleged crimes. Now, CitrusTV has reached out to Hill's defense attorney, Gabrielle DiBella. She told CitrusTV earlier today, as I quote, "My only comment is that Mr. Hill is innocent until proven guilty. Other than that, I cannot comment on pending cases." CitrusTV has also reached out to the university for an official comment, but they declined to comment on the investigation since it is still an active case. Ashley and Chilekasi, back to you.
Benjamin Schiller, thank you. Looking ahead to the weekend now, Juice Jam is Sunday. Don't forget to pick up your tickets at the Dome. Doors open at 1. Skytop is adopting the clear bag policy used for athletic events. Transportation from College Place will begin running at 11, and designated accessible transportation will also be available.
And tonight, Latinx History Month continues. La Casita will commemorate a new exhibit called Once Upon a Time, a Toy Show. And next Friday, a discussion about what it means to be Latinx, followed by the 4th annual Torneo de Football on Saturday. On the 28th, you can also catch a discussion on celebrating the first generation experience.
Attention all Syracuse University senior undergrads. Applications for Syracuse University scholars are now open. 8 to 12 seniors will be selected to represent the class of 2023. Winners will participate in a number of commencement-related events and a recognition ceremony in April. The deadline for applications is November 13th.
And after being closed for 5 years, Hungry Chuck's is finally back here in Syracuse. Our Citrus TV reporter Zach Richter has more on the reopening of the bar.
Hungry Chuck's, it's a place, to come and consume, to see and be seen.
It's as simple as that. Far from corporate, but known as the heart of the Hill. Hungry Chuck's has been a part of the Syracuse community for over half of a generation. And after being forced to close in 2017, Chuck's has now returned to the Hill. I sat down with the owner of the bar, Stephen Theobald.
It was April 20th of 2017. I spent 5 days a week, 40, 50, 60 hours a week looking for a new space. There just isn't much space available up here. It's a very small business district that's surrounded by the campus.
Chuck's now lives in the former home of Panda West. And after being gone for 5 years, how will they compete with nearby competition such as Orange Crate Harry's and Fagan's?
I don't really feel like we have to compete with them. We do something completely different than them. We don't really have any rules in here. Basically, as long as you're not violent, you can do anything you want in here.
And Chuck's is special not just because it's only been here for 50 years, but also everything written on the walls and on the chairs makes this place unique.
It's signing the wall, it's writing, different sayings and stuff on the walls.
SU alum Matthew Hagler has nothing but good memories from Chuck's.
Hearing Hungry Chuck's is back is amazing. I remember all those Saturdays that me and the guys spent there watching the football games or after a football game. And it was truly a Syracuse staple.
And for Chuck's, it's now time to make new memories. Zach Richter for Citrus TV News.
Zach Richter, thank you. Moving out towards the city now, new at 6. Tonight kicks off the annual Festa Italiana in downtown Syracuse. Our Ronnie Parrillo is live at the Fiesta Italiana right now. Ronnie, how's the food over there?
Yeah, thanks guys so much. Well, I am here at Festa Italiana in downtown Syracuse. Now, this event will be happening here all this weekend. It began this afternoon and goes all the way till Sunday evening. This is an event that is filled with great times, a bocce tournament, all sorts of vendors and great food. And right now, I am here at Mama C's and Mama B's with Cheryl. She has a very special connection to this festival. So, what does this mean to you to be here?
I'm Italian. I love people, and we need to recover from COVID and just have a good time and good food, and it's just fun.
Absolutely. And what's your favorite part of the festival?
The people, just seeing them smile and be happy again.
Now we have 3 amazing dishes right here. I'm actually getting hungry thinking of home because I'm also Italian, but what do we have here on the tap for tonight?
We have the meatball sliders, ravioli, and we have the tower, which is French fries with garlic sauce and meatballs on top, and our famous scallops.
Thank you so much. Well, that is going to be it from the Italian Festival tonight. I'm going to go get some of this delicious food, but I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio right now.
Ronnie, thank you so much. And a New York river was just named the best place to bass fish in 2022. Citrus TV's Walker Simmons went to a small fishing town to see why exactly it got that title.
On most afternoons like this, in the town of 1,000 Islands, New York, you'll find Rich Clark, a local fisherman setting up his boat for fishing trips. Rich says he's been fishing on the river as a boy, and as his life has flowed along, the sound of the St. Lawrence River has never left.
Wanted to come back. This river has always called me back, and for the last 42 years, me and my wife, Georgine, have run a charter business called Sideman Fishing Charters.
Rich isn't the only one who's been drawn to the river. Just recently, Bassmasters named the St. Lawrence River the best place to bass fish in 2022. And for local charters like Rich, that means good business.
We get people from all over the world here. Over 42 years, we're very established.
Rich says when he was a kid, reeling in a 5-pound bass was hard to come by. But today, it's a different story.
But it's unbelievable. I mean, there are 7-pound plus bass being caught out of this river, and I wouldn't have believed it when I was a kid that would ever happen. Almost every day we get a fish over 5 pounds.
And while many new faces are at the St. Lawrence River, Rich says some fishermen don't practice good etiquette.
The later generations, there's some of them that weren't brought up and trained the same way we were.
After talking shop, I had to see what this river was all about.
Then we started catching fish, and we ended up catching between 30 and 40 bass.
Wow.
And we kept our limit.
You ever get sore doing that?
I'm in shape to do it because I fish all the time, but people are sore when they get done some days.
And while the bass were a little camera shy and we didn't catch much, the sun setting over the small town of Clayton made the difference. Walker Simmons, Citrus TV News.
Walker, thank you. You know, that looked like great fishing weather out there. Today,
it did.
Not so much.
Not so much today. You know, it's a little cold out there for my taste. We only have a couple warm months here, and it's getting cold a little too fast.
It's too early. It's absolutely too early. Absolutely.
Well, here to tell us more about tonight's weather is Citrus TV weather reporter Dylan Brendel.
Yeah, guys, absolutely. It was a chilly morning. Thankfully, now it's up to 63 degrees. It was a chilly morning for sure indeed, though. As we say now, the clouds all day, and they're sticking around to tonight, but I'll have more on that in just a second. Right now, let's look around the region. Syracuse is the low at 63. Fulton and Rome, just north of us, about the same. But the high is down in Elmira, 74. They had a nice day today. As we go into tonight, 59 degrees, a little warmer than last. Guys, back to you.
Dylan, thank you. And new details tonight. A Central New York student is behind juvenile bars after making shooting threats on a school bus yesterday morning. Deputies say the Vernon-Verona Sherrill student was arrested and charged with making a threat of mass harm. The student was referred to the Oneida County Juvenile Probation Department. The school has not been advised to implement additional safety precautions at this time.
And a man is in the hospital tonight after he got shot in the leg on Syracuse's south side late last night. Witnesses reported hearing 4 gunshots near Radisson Court. Police say the man was riding his bike when he was shot. A suspect has not been identified at this time.
Coming up, the latest in the Department of Justice investigation into the documents found at former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home.
Plus, polio is reemerging in the United States. Who should be getting the vaccine? We'll have all the details on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Let's go see your room.
Welcome to my house. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The walls were closing in. Clearly a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It could help you find a little more breathing room.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. New developments in the Justice Department's probe into former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Former federal district judge Raymond Dearie has been named the special master in the case.
Dearie will review and filter out documents covered by attorney-client or executive privilege. The review will be complete by November 30th. The Department of Justice will not be able to use any of the materials until the review is finished.
Health officials say they are worried after a case of polio was detected in New York State. Experts say that even one case of paralytic polio poses a public health emergency in the United States.
This comes as health officials detected the virus in the wastewater of 5 New York counties. However, experts say people who are vaccinated against polio are extremely well protected from the virus.
And the world's richest man is in a feud with a social media giant, Elon Musk, accusing Twitter of fraud in a court filing yesterday. Musk says his $44 billion deal to buy the company was made under false pretenses.
He says the platform hid serious problems with data security. Twitter's lawyers deny those claims and are looking to move forward with the deal.
In London, thousands of people hoping to say farewell to their longtime monarch are facing steep wait times. Currently, they can expect to spend 24 hours in line to pay their respects to the late Queen Elizabeth II.
Temperatures are dropping tonight in the UK, but the crowd of mourners has not been deterred. The Queen will continue to lie in state at Westminster Hall until her funeral on Monday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time.
The latest in Russia, experts predict the Russian military may be at its weakest point since the start of the Ukraine invasion. Despite this, they show no interest in scaling back their occupation.
Russia could aim to push west and cut off key trading ports or meet in Donbas to counterattack in the east. Experts believe the invasion is still far from over.
When we come back, your 5-day forecast, plus the weather for Juice Jam on Sunday. Stay with us.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. We're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh, yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. I've got your 5-day forecast coming up. I know everybody wants to know about the events this weekend. Saturday game day is going to be great. I'll have more in just a sec. Sunday with Juice Jam, more as well. But let's go to the bad news. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be a wet start to the week. Storms on Monday, dropping into the 70s, continuing Tuesday, Wednesday with showers. As we move to Juice Jam weather, I know you're excited about this. 9 a.m. when you wake up, 74 degrees. Gates open at 1, it'll be 81. 20% chance of rain from then until the end of the show, so just watch out for that. Hopefully the rain stays away, we see the bright sun, and we have an excellent time. 80 degrees at 5 o'clock when you're on your way out. That's all I've got. And in just in a little bit, I'll have your game day forecast. But first, Joe Puccio is here to tell us what we can expect from the Orange on the field.
Well, Dylan, Syracuse football is back at home this weekend. Unfortunately, Purdue isn't bringing that giant bass drum, but they're bringing a talented quarterback and wide receiver duo. Find out who they are and how the Orange can counter them after this.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Syracuse football has a shot to improve to 3-0 this weekend, but it may be a tall task. Welcome into sports. I'm Joe Puccio. Big Ten's Purdue strolls into town this Saturday with one of the nation's top quarterbacks. Sixth-string starter Aiden O'Connell is second in the conference with 5 passing touchdowns. The gunslinger only trails Ohio State's C.J. Stroud and former Syracuse quarterback, now Illinois starter, Tommy DeVito. There's one trait in O'Connell's game that jumps out to Dino Babers.
Fool him yet with his eyes or get him to hold the football. So the ball's going to come out of his hands. It's going to go somewhere, and normally he's really, really accurate with it. It's, last time I saw somebody that accurate like that, he got drafted by the Patriots. The guy is accurate with the football. So he is he's one of the best quarterbacks we've played in a long time.
Now, I know what you're thinking, and no, Babers isn't comparing O'Connell to Tom Brady. Dino Babers' prized possession is Jimmy Garoppolo when the two thrived at Eastern Illinois. But regardless, when O'Connell's found his trusty receiver, Charlie Jones, the two have looked like an efficient tandem. The Iowa and Buffalo transfer leads the Big Ten with over 280 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. Catch Jones and O'Connell in Purdue's first game in New York State since 1941 this Saturday against Syracuse. Follow us at CitrusTV Sports on Twitter for game updates, and Orange Press Pass starts at 5 p.m. Just like football, both SU soccer programs have tall orders. Tonight, Syracuse women's soccer hosts third-ranked Duke at 7 p.m. This is SU's first ACC game of the season. The Orange rolled to a 7-1 record in non-conference play. As for the men's side, Syracuse battles the defending national champions, first-ranked Clemson at 7. Tigers midfielder Osmain Sila's 13 points is tied for the best in the ACC. SU goalkeeper Russell Shealy has the most shutouts in the conference, with 4. It's Friday, which means Section 3 football is in action. Class A state champion Christian Brothers Academy hosts the Class AA's Cicero North Syracuse at 6:30. JD or Nottingham will go home with its first win of the season. Kickoff is in just a few moments. And ESM drives 50 minutes east to meet the newest member of Class A, New Hartford. A little bit of a Spartan-on-Spartan action going down in the Utica area. Outside of Central New York, we wrap things up with a look at the Major League Baseball slate. Tonight, the Yankees and Mets aim to keep their winning ways against National League opponents. The Bombers start a 3-game series with the Brewers in Milwaukee at 8:10. New York was off yesterday, but swept Boston in a 2-game set earlier this week. The Yankees have a 6.5-game lead over the Blue Jays. And the Mets host the Pirates at 7:10. The Metropolitans are coming off a win, but are losers in 3 of their last 4. This is the second of a 4-game series between New York and Pittsburgh. For Citrus TV Sports, I'm Joe Puccio. Chile and Ashley, back to you.
Joe, thank you so much. And when we come back, we'll take one last look at your weather. Stick with us.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to Live at 6. Your game day forecast for tomorrow, 65 degrees when you wake up at 9 a.m., noon at kickoff, 76, 4 p.m., 80 degrees as you leave. No need for a jacket, just a 5% chance of rain. Guys, back to you.
Dylan, thanks. If you got something to put on your DVR list today, 3 Syracuse students will compete tonight in NBC's Capital One College Bowl.
The show features universities nationwide taking on trivia for the chance at $1 million in scholarships. College Bowl is in its 2nd season and is hosted by Peyton Manning and his brother Cooper. Syracuse plays tonight against Penn State. The show starts at 8 p.m.
Will be exciting to see. That's our report for this Friday. Don't forget, wake up with Nicole Aponte and Josh Myers tomorrow on Juice and Java at 11:30.
For more of the latest, you can follow us on Twitter at CitrusTV News.
Now for Joe Puccio, Dylan Brendel, and the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Chilekasi Adele.
And I'm Ashley Wenskoski. Have a great night, Syracuse.